All right, think we are live. What is up, everyone? Let's see if I can get this figured out. Let me know if you can hear me. If anybody is in the stream, be appreciative. Just give me the thumbs up if the audio is coming through all right. Good to see everyone tonight. It's been a long time, so we're going to just go through a couple things. I was just finished watching Bierski and DNA on Bierski's channel. Good to see them talking. Love hanging out with both of them. And just decided to go live tonight. So I wanted to get in here. I see Drew is in the chat. What's up? Good to see you. Let's see. Let me get that to post. There we go. It looks very small, but that is okay. Second stream in the new setup here. And it has been difficult to get back into the swing of things, to be completely honest. I said back when I had my kid before I moved that I was going to do it every 2 weeks. Didn't adhere to that. What was that, like a month ago or so? Said, or maybe like 5-6 weeks ago, whatever that was. Said I was going to do it every 2 weeks. Obviously didn't adhere to that. It has just been it's just been a difficult transition, to be completely transparent and honest with everybody, just in terms of having a baby. He's happy, healthy, everything is great. But you know, it's been a tough transition to find time for these lives. It just has been. So at the same time that I had my baby in February, or we had our baby, I should say, I moved from the city to the suburbs. So I moved, I believe, June 1st. So in addition to, the baby, it's been a completely different life. I went from commuting maybe 25 to 30 minutes 3 days a week to now I am commuting an hour and a half one way 3 times a week. That's obviously super tough. So losing, what is that, 6 hours a week of my time that would have possibly been allocated to this. It's just been it's been a tough transition. So I think I'm finally getting into a nice groove of things. I got this room set up. The room that I'm sitting in here now, it was filled with storage and just lots of other things. It took a long time to get this cleaned up, ready to go. So finally got that done. Got a desk to where everything is set up. So I think moving forward, I'm just not going to commit to the every 2 week thing. Obviously, couldn't stick to that. But I think I'm going to commit to trying to get back into it. So it's not fair at this time, just with the current state of things, to make a hard commit. I just can't stick to that at this time. I got to get more into the swing of things. But good to see Drew in here. I'm gonna go over and pop over to a slide presentation that I prepared here with just I don't want to hold on. I got to figure out a way to, you can see the upcoming topics there. So anyways, I wanted to have a little prompt here. The last couple times that I've gone live, I have not really had anything planned to talk about. So it has, I've just kind of mumbled and bumbled and whatever. I felt like there wasn't any structure, so I just wanted to put together a quick PowerPoint, just some talking points, just to keep it a little bit structured, just so I'm not just bumbling in front of the microphone and whatever the case may be. I am just checking on my phone here just to confirm that the sound is coming through here, nice and all good. So you might hear a little bit of, okay, perfect. So we're all set. Got the microphone working, everything's all set up here. So first thing that I want to hop into here is just kind of like, I've got a little breakdown here of my recent sales, and the reason why it says February 2nd, 2024, that is the birth of my son, his birth date. So it was kind of a nice line in the sand representation of just kind of what's going on. So I have barely bought anything up until the last week or so, when I've really started to dive back in and get back into it a bit. I didn't buy anything from, I believe, maybe just a couple weeks. I was on paternity leave after my son was born, but really no inventory has come in. So everything, all the sales that are here, is just based on inventory that I already had built up before my son was born. So when I put these numbers together a little while ago, I put them together like a week and a half ago, and then I refreshed them yesterday when I finally had some time to go live. But they were surprising on the upside. So 7,800 gross sales, net sales after eBay fees, 5,900. 385 transactions since then, so that comes down to 1.87 sales every single day. Doesn't sound like a lot, probably to a lot of people who do this full time. Obviously, that's like peanuts and nothing. But like for me, I'm pretty proud of that number, to be able to have built up an inventory of singles. To the point where I can, average almost 2 sales every single day. That's including, obviously I didn't do it 5 days a week or whatever. So like, that's good. Like, on Mondays I'll have, 4, 5, 6 orders, a few days a week I might have 0 sprinkled in. A Tuesday and Wednesday might have 3 or 4, you get the point, 2 a day. So I was really pleased with these numbers. $20.47 average sale per item. That was really surprising to the upside there. I've been doing lower end singles, $3, $4, $5, $6. I think that number is a little bit skewed because I sold a decent chunk of Van Gogh Pikachu PSA 10s. I think I sold 3 or 4 of those for whatever they were going to, $250. And then I sold some Pikachu on the ball PSA 10s for 12, 13 of those. So the number's a little bit skewed. I haven't sold any graded cards like that for a bit, although I've been trickling out some PSA 10 Japanese base sets here and there that I have left over from a previous sub. So, but I was pleased with these numbers. So like, I think I don't know if I consciously decided to build up my inventory to this type of level in order to be able to weather the storm, so to speak, when I didn't think I would be able to spend time and devote time to purchasing new things. I think I just it just worked out like that. So I don't want to feel good about that. It's just kind of the luck of the draw. But hold on, I'm realizing I've got all my bookmarks visible. I don't want that. I don't, nothing to hide, but it's just kind of weird to have all my personal bookmarks visible. So I hid those, but I was pleased with these. So you see the off eBay sales at the bottom there. So that is 151 ultra premium collections, which you can see some over my shoulder here. I've got 4, 5, 6 of them up there. I've got them all lined up there, not to flex or anything. Like, obviously that's not a flex, but I had to line them up to take a new picture from a Facebook Marketplace post. So that is why they're all lined up there. But I bought those. So those have been trickling out. So it's actually a super annoying process, and like I don't love Facebook Marketplace, but I do it for these types of items that are a pain in the butt to ship. So I've sold, I estimate that at like $2,000. I also had some Evolving Skies ETBs that I bought off of Walmart, the Umbreon version. So I was able to, those were a quick flip, but, so yeah, those are the numbers, that I've got going on since February 2nd. So I finally started to, put the foot back on the gas and start to purchase things again. So, this is what the next slide is. These are just some examples of the things that I've, kind of been buying here. So this is 151 ultra premium collection booster bundles. So those came up. I bought quite a few of those back, in February, March, or whatever, when they came on sale at Walmart. So I bought, I think like 24 or 30 of those or something, for $28.99 a piece. So those were sold by MJ Holdings on Walmart.com. So I registered as a reseller with Walmart, so I got sales tax exempt. So paid and it was free shipping. So $28.99 shipped for these booster bundles, which was a good deal back then when they were. I just bought them, set them back, and didn't sell any until recently when they have passed they're like $49.99 approximately right now on TCG Player, and they've been selling for up to $55.99. I've sold a few on eBay recently, so they've really skyrocketed up a bit. So that was a nice little buy. $55.99 minus fees and shipping, that comes out to like I did the math the other day. It's like a 47% profit, so not too bad. It's not like game breaking like crazy play money, but 151 is super liquid, flying off the shelf. I will take a 47% profit in the matter of, what is that, like 3 or 4 months. That's nice. I like that. It's fun. It's fun to do. Little easy to ship. You can put them in these little 6x4x2 corrugated boxes, and toss a couple little bubble wrap thing in there. It's a 8-ounce package, so it's like $4.59 or something to ship, depending on where it goes in the country. $4.40. So those are easy to ship. So I don't try not to do those on Facebook Marketplace as much. So those have been nice. I can't remember off the top of my head who pinged me in the Pokenomics Discord on these being restocked on Walmart.com, MJ Holdings. But I appreciate whoever that was. I apologize, I can't remember your name. I think it was Scott. So shout out to you for letting me know that these came back in stock yesterday for $29.99. So it actually might still be up there right now. So if anybody wants to go check that out, if you're not registered as a reseller on Walmart, I wouldn't advise paying sales tax on these, but it's a super easy process. If you submit your resale certificate to Walmart, I think it was like less than, it was like 24 hours when they updated my accountant and notified me that I could make purchases without sales tax. So I would recommend just doing that. It takes like 5 seconds to upload a PDF of your resale certificate or whatever and do that. And then, it's just easy money in my opinion, just buying these. They're limited 12, so you do like 2 orders. So like 12 of them come out to like $359. I just re-upped and bought 24 more, 2 separate orders, $359 a piece. Just gonna sell them for immediate profit right now. They're super liquid. I sell like, several a week. I think I sold like 13 this past week. So that is a super easy play if somebody wants to just go ahead and do that. It doesn't say MJ Holdings on the actual listing, but it will say, I think, like GT Collectibles, I believe. So so if somebody wants to go ahead, just, sharing the place here. So it's not like a crazy play, like, this niche card that I found that I've been buying on Buy-E and I don't want anybody else to know about. Like, it's just like, whatever, like these are on Walmart.com, like go ahead and buy them, make a quick, nice little profit if you want. So easy to ship. That's a no brainer. 151 super liquid. Let me take a look at the chat here to Mexican Hipster. What is up? I know that you also had a son. Congrats to you. You have done a better job of sticking with it, going to vending, making videos. Kudos to you. I have not been able to balance that in my life here. And I'll talk about another reason, so it's not just like a woe is me, can't adjust to parenthood. Like I have found a new hobby that I went deep down the rabbit hole, which has, admittedly taken a ton of my time that could have otherwise been devoted to this. So it's not like, oh my God, I can't figure out how to change a diaper and I'm just like so overwhelmed and I can't do it. There's a reason, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I found another hobby that I got deep back into. I was deep into information gathering mode on that. And I've kind of hit that plateau. We all know when we dove into this hobby, there's just this, or at least it was for me, just consuming every single piece of information, watching every live stream on like 1.5 to 2x speed and just sucking everything in, taking all the information in, and you're in that information, just like a thirst for information. That's the mode that I was with on the other hobby that I'll talk about here in a second. But that is kind of completed there a bit. So not completed, it's still another hobby of mine, but you know what I'm talking about. E-Unit is in here as well. Good to see you, my friend. JR says he's always looking at Pokemon Center vending machines around me. That would be a pretty awesome item to have in the house. Drew, always good to see you here. So Mert started skateboarding. No, I did not. But back in the day, I got to see if I feel like I'm hunching over big time. I got to see what the camera angle is because I've got it blocked here. Back in the day, I had a Walmart skateboard for like $10.99 that was like made out of this super thick, crappy material, and like I thought I was so sick and like skated around on it, but that is no longer the case. So definitely not skateboarding. Brandon Baker, good to see you. Love that you're in here. Hope you're going to be in Chicago with what sounds like a lot of the rest of the hobby. It's going to be a big banger of a show this year. It looks like Charlotte was kind of the one, and I think a lot of that is probably because, well, it's an awesome location, but Rusty kind of brings the heavy hitters out and has a big shindig at his place every year. So Charlotte's a heavy hitter Collecticon event, but I think Chicago is going to be right up there this year. I've already there's a lot of people confirmed. I'm in Grimer's section, so we just confirmed our section. I paid the fee. Oh, I see Grimer in here. What is up? Good to see. I was just talking about our section. We're a little close to the old stage there with Jason Page and whoever it is, Wu-Tang Clan or Waka Flocka bullshit. But not looking forward to that. A little close to the stage, but other than that, I think we're going to be in a solid spot in terms of traffic, just like kind of being one of those second rows next to the main, like close to the entrance. So like the section there, I can't remember if it's 20 or whatever the number is, but thanks for organizing that, Grimer. I appreciate that. Let's see, what do we else have in here? Evan, I don't know whose first name is Evan. Is that E-Unit? I apologize. I just know you as E-Unit Stonk Dog in 42069, as I think you're known in some of the Discords too. Learn something new every day. What is up? Let's see. Got a lot of legends in the chat. E-Unit says he just opened a precious collector box from Baiyi new, unopened. How did it go? Did you get? Was it no promo? That sucks, dude. I've bought sparingly from Baiyi, just a little bit. I think I bought like some V-Star Universe when I thought I was going to be like a big mega brained investor. Like back when it came out, I bought it for like whatever, like 76 a box or something, and thinking I was going to be like so insane and awesome. And that wasn't a terrible price. I think I bought a few boxes recently for like 61.50 when everything tanked and the world was coming to an end. That is something I did buy when I was on my little bit of a hiatus. I checked in, found that good deal on a seller who was discounting a bunch of stuff. I think Retro is selling V-Star Universe for like 67 or 71 or something like that. I check out his Instagram stories. But anyways, that's the only experience I have with Baiyi. That sucks that they don't have like buyer protection for you there on your missing promo. That really sucks. Sorry about that. Yes, Brandon will be in Chi-Town. Awesome. Good to see. Grimer says spot ain't too bad. We are close to Zion and PSA too. That's good. Obviously, a lot of organic traffic comes into those couple locations. I will have my Zion case with me, but we are. It is what it is. You can only section it. It's so random too. Like last time in Charlotte, we were in the back, like the back row by the bathrooms, like at the very back of the convention. And I was like stoked that we were back there, like, cause we were on the outer ring and we had some decent traffic, but like, I think where it's at, just based on the couple of conventions that I've been at, it seems like the best place to be is in the front near the entrance. So that's just my opinion. Yes, that sucks. The promo wasn't there. Damn, Chi-Town CAC looks like to be a great time, but JR is going to Vegas that same weekend. Well, that's awesome though. Have fun in Vegas, man. I've only been to Vegas once. It was after I hiked in the Grand Canyon with my friends, almost died. A friend had heat stroke and had to be airlifted out by a helicopter, and our hiking was delayed. Our water filter broke, and we almost died in the Grand Canyon. We were hiking at night, going over sketchy cliffs. It was like a super intense, terrible hike. And I will never go hiking like that in the wilderness again. But after that horrible experience, I went to Vegas and I won a bunch of money on roulette. I won like $800 on roulette. I just couldn't miss red, black, odds even. And I just like built up my money and paid for a lot of the trips. So I think that was the universe paying me back for that horrible near-death experience there. Like Beetlejuice, just say his name 3 times and he appears. Yep, Grimer. Good to see you here. Let's see. It got wrecked. That sucks. Yeah, the Baiyi. That's just tough. That is just a tough thing. I do eBay, I love eBay. Like the more and more I get into it, like I like selling there, I like buying there. Like I like, I know that you can dig and buy these, be first to when it comes online at like 2 a.m. or whenever the Japanese, whatever the case may be. There seems to be a lot more opportunity there because it's harder. It's a bigger barrier of entry to learn how to use the platform, to know it even exists, to know how to feel comfortable buying stuff to Japan. You can probably, the risk reward is higher, but I personally just like the ease and the buyer protection, sell it, whatever. I just like eBay. It's just easier for my life. I'm willing to pay a little bit more and go that route. I haven't found myself going deep down the Baiyi hole, which is probably what the Baiyi stands want to hear, because it just is less competition for them. If they can stomach the risk and deal with the platform and deal with the risks, they're going to make out better. So they probably like to hear what I just said. Mason, awesome to see. Yeah, that was a quick synopsis of that horrible Grand Canyon experience. It was like, I can't remember the trail off the top of my head. It was the Royal Arch Loop Trail, I believe. And we were just way in over our head. My friend's father was our tour guide, and he had done Grand Canyon quite a bit. So he was kind of our leader of the crew. It was a super intense trail. I think, if you read about it online, it says like, do not attempt unless you have a certain amount of hours doing other trips. It's like a legit, like hard, high difficulty, whatever. And we went there. His son was the one that had the issues and was needing to receive an airlift out by an emergency helicopter. There's no signal down there, so you have to set off like this electronic thing. You have to go to like put it on top of a rock and just hope like somebody hears that signal and not hears it, gets that signal and brings a helicopter there and picks him up. So it was his son that was not doing so hot, so he was not able to help us continue because he was tending to his son. So there was like a little bit there where I thought I was going to die in the Grand Canyon. That sucked. Yeah, but good to see you there, Mason. Help me get back into the hobby. So that's what we're doing here. I'm going to finish talking about this. I made it to the bottom of the chat here. It looks like we got 8 people in here. I love to see that. That is awesome on this Monday night. So talked about the 151. These are the things, this slide that's up here right now. These are the things that I bought recently. So I bought the 151 also on Walmart.com from MJ Holdings, aka GT Collectibles. I bought one batch before I realized that you could do sales tax exempt, so taxes baked into my cost basis. But I bought the second batch of like 12, so I think I got 24 of these after and I've sold a few here and there. I might have a little bit more. I can't remember the exact number. I got a huge box of them right next to my face or left arm over here. But I bought them for I think a cost basis of like $86 total. When you bake in the sales tax exempt, which is a super good price. Right now, I think they checked right before the stream. They are $143 shipped on TCG Player. So obviously, I don't love shipping these. These probably cost like $12, $13, $14 a ship. They're heavier and awkward and weird. So my plan is to sell them on Facebook Marketplace, which is the bane of my existence, and or bring them to Collecticon in Chicago, because I live in Chicago. So it'll be really easy for me to bring them in person. I don't have to bring them on an airplane. So I'm going to bring 20 of these things, and I'm going to be the lowest price there, and hopefully get rid of these things at Collecticon. I would whatever, sell them for $125, $130, whatever, and make a nice $50 profit per box. That's going to work out super well for me. So that was a great play, just to purchase those, stick those on the shelf. And 151 is so liquid and it's awesome. Be interested to see, Mason, how what kind of 151 you've got at your store. How easy is it for you to get? Are you buying booster bundles? I heard Dan and Nick on Pokey Flips the other day talk about how they were kind of running low a little bit. Nick was talking about how he was running low. Dan has his shrink wrapped up in a pallet in the middle of nowhere in New York somewhere that he can't access as his investment pallet. So it doesn't sound like it's super easy to obtain. They've got these BS, it sounds like, at the distributors, all those crap where they make you buy those Battle Academy crap with this stuff. So it doesn't sound super easy to get. So I'd be interested to see how the general public is doing on those. So anyways, okay. Next thing that I bought was a Celebrations Charizard. So I had like $12.73 store credit on TCG Player, and that is for the sales tax exempt that I have with them. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like a few months ago, I read that they are stopping new enrollments into sales tax exempt program with TCG Player. So that is no longer a thing, which is unfortunate. So you can either do store credit, which is what I'm doing, or you can do a check, like a physical check mailed to you. And probably, the best, most, financially sound decision would be to have a actual check mailed to you, and then you deposit that into a high yield savings account or something, and use that high yield savings account to pay off your Pokemon credit card bills and blah, blah, blah. And you earn 4.4% interest or 5% interest or whatever while you're waiting to transact with that money, blah, 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 blah. That's a pain in the ass. I don't want to deal with paper checks for an additional 30 cents every 3 months or whatever that number comes out to be on this type of number. I just don't do enough volume or don't care enough. So I decided to switch to store credit just to make my life easier. And I had like $12 and I was like, what do I buy that I will be able to sell quick at Collecticon and will be easy, and if it comes in crap condition, I'll still be able to, it'll be super liquid and I'll still be able to like sell and get my money back. And I was like, Celebration Charizard. I just came to the conclusion that's just what it is. That's what I'm going to buy. And that's why I did. So I just bought a copy from the lowest list, and that's what we're doing. I don't know why the chat is coming. Oh, because I think it says top chat here. I'm going to put live chat and hope that helps. And I just missed a ton of chat notifications, and I've got it live now so I can see everything. Grimer says that is super scary. I've gotten heat exhaustion before and it was not fun. Yeah, that was a brutal situation. JR says, bet you're never going to forget that hiking trip. Yep. It's a good story to tell, but like there was, when that water filter broke and got clogged in the Colorado River and we didn't have like guaranteed fresh water, and I was like hoarding the water that I did have in my backpack, and my pee was like brown, and I didn't know like if that helicopter was going to come. I was like, there is a legitimate chance I die out here at this time, and so that was tough. I remember I had like, I want to say probably like 40 ounces of water, and I was like really trying to conserve it because shit was just kind of hitting the fan, and that helicopter had not come, and our tour guide was tending to his son that was not in good shape, so like he couldn't lead us out, and we were at the bottom of the Grand Canyon and I had no idea where to go. That was super scary, and I thought I was going to die a little bit. So made it back, and now we're doing better than ever. So, but moral of the story is I will never go somewhere or do some kind of extreme hike or any type of hike or wilderness bullshit where I cannot walk to civilization without water. So like, let's say whatever shit hits the fan, I want to, wherever I am, I need to be able to walk to civilization. So whatever that is, like 12, 15 miles, whatever. We can walk a long time without water, but I'm never doing that thing to where like shit hits the fan and I like might die. That's just not happening. So you crazy hikers, more power to you. You're not doing it. This is not a hiking podcast though. Pokemon. Let's get back to Pokemon. Mason has the hot hands, just pulled me some goodies and some Lorcana packs. You're still doing Lorcana? Is Lorcana still a thing? I have not thought about Lorcana since I've kind of been out of the situation there. So it's good to hear that it's still going. And I don't say that like sarcastically. Like it's actually just good that there are other things in the hobby that like people enjoy, and like it's all cardboard related, and I think it's like a net positive if that is going well. I heard, has Dan bought MetaZoo for like $15,000 yet? Is that a meme or does that actually happen? I think I heard it on a previous Pokeflips, by the way. So hope MetaZoo survives too. Let's see. BB's the homie. Yes, he definitely is. Yeah, they stopped like a year ago. I don't remember what that is referring to. Brown Pea. Yeah, it was super dehydrated, hoarding the water, thinking weird thoughts in my head. Am I going to have to abandon my friends or am I going to give them some of my water? Shit was hitting the fan. Yep, that was tough. That's why you're better off to just not touch grass. Exactly. That's why we should all just stay inside, play with Pokemon cards. That story is why, people that touch grass are actually the losers. Touching water greater than touching grass. Yes. Drinking water greater than drinking grass. I think I lost 12 pounds in like 4 days. I weighed myself at the hotel in Vegas, and I was like just like a shell of myself. And then I felt super weird when we went to the gambling floor and was just like breathing in all that oxygen after getting super hydrated. And I was like, I just remember feeling like this is insane. What a stark turn of events to going from almost dying in the Grand Canyon to like being on a Vegas casino floor like right after. It was just kind of a weird juxtaposition of life experiences. Lorcana has their sets or at least concepts planned through 2026. Pixar coming 2026. That'll be a big one. That's good to hear. a year ago. That was a year ago that TCG Player got rid of tax exempt status. Wow. I thought in my mind, if you like put a gun to my head and say, tell me how long ago that was, I would have said 4 months. And that was a year ago. That is just wild. Really crazy to see. Made it to the bottom of the chat again. All right, let's talk about the last thing that we see here. I'm going to move my big head to the other side, which it should have been anyway. So I don't know why I had it on the right side when it should have been on the left side. But the last image that we can see here on the PowerPoint screen of things that I've been buying recently is this. Hold on, I got a little indigestion here. Last thing on the screen here is this picture of a binder page. So this page, this seller I came across, and every once in a while I will just get on eBay and I will just type in Pokemon card collection. Then I will sort by auction. Then I will sort by ending soonest. And I just do that, and I just kind of see what's going on, see if there's anything, I usually do that at like a weird time of day. Like if I just like think of it on a weekend, or think of it like while I'm, eating lunch or something on work, I'll just do it. It's like 2:30 on a Wednesday. Just like, what is going on here? Most of the time, I'll sort, and if something, catches my eye, just like scan. You look at enough of these collections and you just know what to look for just by the pictures. So if I see a picture that's enticing after seeing it might have a bid or two, I will investigate further. First thing you do is click on seller's other items, or that's the first thing I do. And if you go to seller's other items and they've got like a ton of binders and listings, or if they don't, maybe that's their only listing, but then you go on what they've sold recently and it's all just assorted binders that went for like $600, $700, $500, $600, $800, and that's just what they do. They just buy singles from people, put them in a binder, make it look like I just found this in grandma's closet, and then they put it on eBay, and people don't investigate further, and they just pay top dollar like these were found in grandma's closet and haven't been sorted through, when in fact they have been sorted through. So you just that's just. Everybody who's here probably knows that. Like, I don't need to explain it to you. Like, I'm just kind of explaining it to the general person who might not be super deep into this stuff. But anyways, so was doing my little search, found a listing that I was actually interested in. The guy looked like his other items and everything that he's sold recently were just like random, car parts or a DVD or something, just like those guys that are just like general resellers or maybe not sell anything. Like, Pokemon cards definitely weren't in the equation. So they either owned like a shop or they truly found these in grandma's closet. So he had like 8 or 9 different listings of similar cards like this, separated out. Like, it was just one binder page for each listing. So upon further investigation, so the first thing that caught my eye on this, and I'm just going to zoom this in so I can see here. The first thing that catches my eye, and I've had a lot of success in selling, are the reverse hollows. These are all reverse hollows, obviously, but in the top right corner, the 2008, 2009 Diamond and Pearl era reverse hollows, during that time, there was not a whole lot of printing going on. So 2008, 2009, you can just see that sheen. You can see those borders. You can see the placement of like the year and you just tell by looking at, obviously you guys can too, looking at enough of these cards that you can just tell what the era they are. So that catches my eye right away. Because I like those cards. And I bought in 2, 3, 4 collections of, 40, 50, 60, couple hundred cards each, that had a lot of those cards in them. And even in just like heavy played, damaged, absolute terrible condition, like those sell pretty well. I sell them all the time, and they sell for, a decent price, and they're interesting. They're things that I didn't grow up with or that I don't see talked about a lot, and they're not available a ton, and I just like to buy them and I like to sell them, and I think it's a smart thing to do and it's a fun thing to do and blah, blah, blah. So those catch my eye. When I looked at the condition, I guess I should step back even further. Those aren't the only 2 cards that catch my eye. I like the late Nintendo era, that might be Sandstorm, Ruby, Sapphire, those other reverse hollows there. Those also sell well, and those also weren't printed into oblivion in reverse hollows. So like those like popular characters like Meryl there, and I can't see right off the top of my bat. But anyways, Deoxys, whatever. So this caught my eye after I investigated further. Saw this was something I might want to pursue. Looked at the back. He had back pictures of all these cards, and these were like mintier than minty could be. These were super minty, which is not the case. Usually, like obviously, like the standard cards are LP, heavy play, mid play, whatever. So they were like true near mint, like super good condition. Looked like they had just been put in sleeves back in 2008 and 2006, whatever. They were super good condition. So I was interested, and I bid on a lot of the different options. He had like $5 shipping on each individual one before the listings started to end. I messaged him and said if he would combine shipping. He said yes, great. So I ended up winning like 4 different auctions. I think they were ranged from like $18 to like $30 each, and I don't have pictures of the rest of one, but this is just kind of like an example. A lot of reverse hollow. There were some stamped hollows from the EX era as well. Reverse hollows. I just love all those cards. So I don't know. I'll probably sell that Deoxys for like $6.99. That Merrill will probably sell for like $7. I don't know. I need to obviously look into these, but like in the condition that they're in, just knowing I've been able to sell like horrible condition versions of similar cards for $3, $4, $5, like these super minty ones, I feel pretty good about that, and it's just fun, and that's just what I bought. So about that was kind of my dipping my toe back into this picture is what I've dipped my toe back into buying and selling recently. So we're getting back into it, guys. That's what we're doing. So I'm going to try to check the chat again here. I am not seeing the chat update on my streaming software on my desktop here. So I'm going to look on my phone here. So it doesn't look like anybody's chatted for a while. Anyway, so everybody is in here. Got 9 concurrent viewers. Let's go. Thanks, everybody. If you could please hit that like button, I appreciate that. I think everybody in this chat is probably subscribed to my channel, but if you're enjoying the content, please hit the sub button as well. We're going to try to get back into the Pokemon grind. I really appreciate that for you stopping in. So moving on to the next slide here. I spent way too much time on the first 2 slides just catching up with everybody and talking about this, but I just made this stupid thumbnail that I thought was funny, and I think it is funny. And X-raying, I'm not gonna like go and give my big brain thoughts on how this is gonna affect the hobby. I just thought it was kind of a funny thing to do. I do, in all seriousness, think that this is going to affect the super high end boxes, and it's kind of a big deal for like first ed base and like EX Deoxys box and just whatever, like the Skyridge boxes, blah, it just is. It's just going to affect that. Like people are going to scan first ed base and see if there's a Charizard in there and blah, blah, blah. It's going to happen. But I don't think it's like a huge deal for like mid-tier and like lower end boxes. I just don't think that that's a big deal. It sucks. But it's just interesting how everything is going to be optimized. Like when there's money involved, people are going to find ways to like optimize this stuff. So it's not surprising that this happened, but I don't think it's like a huge deal except for the high end stuff. Like this is good for the very reputable people in the hobby, like a TCA Gaming, a Dan, Z&G Emporium, a Mason, the pillars, which is a new word that I've heard since I've been gone. So anyways, it's going to be good for people who have really pristine reputations and like you feel comfortable that they're not going to screw you over. Like if they have these items and they either had them before this X-raying and MRI stuff happened, or they feel 100% confident, like they're going to be the only ones that will be able to sell these boxes anymore. So that's good for them to use their reputation. So that'll benefit them. Like I would never buy from like a random source, and obviously I don't think anybody else would too. So, and we saw like BBCE, they're supposed to be the experts in this, and they completely just like authenticated G.I. Joe bullshit. So good for the pillars. Mason says, do you still have fun with the hobby? Is there anything that you want to focus on? And I'll talk about this just in a second. The next slide here will kind of get into, I don't know if you were in here when I first started the stream, but I found a new hobby. So I've been super into that, just like information gathering mode and like really deep into that, trying to like get up to date there. And I finally feel like I've gathered the intermediate level information to where I can kind of build on my own, and I don't need to do that information gathering mode anymore. So I have bandwidth now to get back into the hobby. So it sounds kind of bad that like I was just like found something new and just like see ya Pokemon for a little while, but like that's just kind of what happened. And I think I needed a little bit of a refresh and a hiatus. I was so deep in it for so long that I think at the same time it felt good to take a break a bit. So anyway, I will get into the new hobby since we're talking about it right now. Then I do see the other comments about baby update. I'll give that too. So new hobby. So let me see. I'm clicking on OBS. I'm not clicking on the actual presentation. Boom. This is a picture of Japan. So Japan is not my new hobby, but it is kind of the genesis on how I got into the new hobby. So let me get a sip of water before I go into this. So there's a picture of Japan here. So I booked, and I've mentioned this before, I booked a trip to Japan. So I am going to Japan the first. I'm not gonna say. I'm just not gonna dox myself and where I'm going in exact cities. I'm going in spring. I will be going to Tokyo for I think 6 nights total. It's kind of broken up there, just the way that the planning worked out. Drinks a third of the bottle. Yeah, takes a sip of water, then drinks a third. Yeah, I've been known to do that, but I'm just a chugger. So, anyways, Tokyo for I think like 6 nights, Kyoto for 4 nights, and we're gonna mix in a day trip / night in Osaka. So a couple week vacation in Japan in spring. So it is super hype. Absolute dream, like trip of a lifetime. I am so excited. So how this relates to my new hobby. So my new hobby is kind of like the points and miles travel hacking game. So it sounds, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about that. You're manipulating the system to get these free flights and free hotel bookings and luxury flights. And it sounds like when I heard of before I got into it, it sounded like complete BS as well, as it does. Like if something's too good to be true, like I'm flying luxury around the world for free, like these just influencers are, saying that it sounds like crap, but that's what I've got into. So basically how it works is you get these points in miles directly through the airline by signing up for their credit cards, by earning miles through flying with them, or you sign up through credit cards, both personal and business credit cards, and get the sign-up bonuses and use those sign-up bonuses to get these really good deals for flying. So the way that I got into this is that I've always been interested in like kind of the credit card maximizing, like in terms of like, you shouldn't be using a debit card. Like there are certain credit cards that give you the best rewards either for your dining spend, your personal spend, or your business spend. And you get credit card rewards and Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles will tell you that you should always cash them out and, for cash and for 99% of the population, you probably should. It's easier. It's probably the more prudent thing to do. It is very difficult and convoluted and complicated and requires a ton of work to go the other way, and in my opinion, to do like kind of the travel situation. So anyways, how I got into all this was planning my trip to Tokyo, and I watched a YouTube video on somebody who was able to get like a first class flight, business class flight, international across to Tokyo. And I just was like, how I looked it up. I was like, that sounds awesome. And I looked it up. It was like $6,000 one way for one ticket. So obviously can't afford that. But I just started pulling the string. I'm not going to get super into it. I'm going to make a standalone video on how I'm not just going to talk about travel hacking, blah, blah, blah. I want to tie it into Pokemon and how, and the way that I plan on doing that is recommending the best credit cards for a small business specifically, and I can tailor that towards like a Pokemon small business. So that's how I kind of plan to tie it in. I don't really want to like, I know that people are probably clicking out of this or like, and not super interested. So I'm not going to go deep into the weeds right now, but just that is kind of what happened. So I really started pulling on the thread, and I was able to kind of plan this trip and kind of travel hack it, for lack of a better term. So I was able to book international business class and first class flights that total thousands and thousands of dollars. 5-star hotels for all of our stays in Kyoto, Tokyo. I think we're staying in 4 different 5-star hotels. So I was able to it was a ton of work, hours and hundreds of hours of research and manipulating spend and signing up for new credit cards in a strategic way. But I ended up, the total cash cost of this trip just for the hotels and just for the flights, if you were to pay cash for what I have my itinerary, it would be $52,000. Obviously, can't afford that. Would never ever pay that. And I think the amount of points that I would have been able to cash out, if I would have cashed out the points for normal cash, it would have been an approximate value of $8,000. So basically, taking a $52,000 trip for $8,000. So $8,000 I would pay to go to Japan. I think that is a very fair assessment in the current economy on how much economy flights, decent economy flights and decent lodging would cost somebody to, stay, in a $250, $300 a night hotel for 12 to 14 nights, fly in, economy class, nonstop flights from Chicago to Tokyo. I think it is fair to say that would cost about $8,000. So was able to, pay what I was going to pay, but stay in 5-star hotels and stay in fly in pretty credible, amazing flights. So that's kind of what I did. And I've been able to, so that's the gist of it. So I've been very, very deep into learning about that. And this trip was kind of a perfect example on how to do that. Because another impetus for this, not just to go to Tokyo, but like I had a child, and I knew my budget was going to get tighter. So I wanted to figure out a way to be able to still travel and be able to save and be able to absorb the new cost of having a child. So I was like, how can I still continue to live my life? Not live my life. That's a bad way to put it. How can I still continue to have fun, travel, have these great experiences while still being financially responsible and allocating money to my child's education and saving money for down payment on a house? How can I do this? And I am happy to say I pretty successfully figured out how to do that. So I'm going to wrap a nice bow on that conversation, and I plan to make a video on how to help people in the Pokemon space, small business space. I feel pretty confident that I know what credit cards and what spending things to recommend. Like I'm not going to recommend travel hacking for the average person. I just don't think that that's realistic. It takes a ton of work. If everybody could do it, then those types of like redemptions and flights and amazing stays would not be possible for $8,000. So like it is super, super hard. So I think the video will be tailored more towards like just a cashback, like how to maximize your cashback and what like credit cards you should get for your small business. So I just don't want to like put improper expectations and be like, you can do this too, because you probably can't unless you go deep down the rabbit hole like I did. So I don't mean to say that like what I did was like super smart and so sick and like I'm the only one who can do it. I think it is, unless you want to put in hours and hundreds of hours, it's like not realistic to be like, you can make a 5-star trip too for cheap. Like it's just not. So if you have a passion for it, I'd be happy to, you can DM me and I'd love to talk about it and let you know how to start going down that path. But I think that I'm going to make some recommendations tailored to like a Mason, like what credit card would I recommend him for like his small business? And he's a smart guy, so he probably has a strategy figured out, but you know what I'm saying. Suffice it to say, nobody in this chat or watching this video, if you are using a debit card or a checking account to purchase anything that you're able to purchase with a credit card, and there is no credit card processing fee, or the credit card processing fee does not outweigh the potential rewards that you could get, that is a wrong decision. It's just like a objective fact. So you should be utilizing credit not just for the rewards, but for the free 30 to 45 day interest-free loan that they give you to, put the charges on the credit card. Like, obviously you pay your balance in full every single month, so it does like the interest-free, but like you can, if you're cash flowing a lot like that, you can put that money into a high yield savings account while you wait to pay your bills, and that can gain interest. So your cash can constantly work for you and gain interest like that. That's kind of the main thing. It's not like you would carry a balance and like get these interest-free loans. You guys, anyways, video to come. I'm not going to keep going into it because I know you guys want to talk about Pokemon. So back to the comments here. Get those points. Yes, sir. Danisar TCG catching up. Looking forward to hanging in Chicago. Yes, sir. If you have a Sam's nearby, you may want to stop and check in for Crown Zenith. I think I saw a post about that recently about Crown Zenith at Sam's Club. I'm not a Sam's Club shopper. I'm a Costco person myself. Since I moved out here to the suburbs and we've got some room and I'm buying food for a family now, Costco is absolutely amazing. I'm like obsessed with Costco, by the way. It's an awesome place. Shug Nasty, yo, how everybody's doing? Good to see you, Shug Nasty and iFOMO. Thank you, Mason. That's some baller shit merch. Congrats to you for hacking Dream. I appreciate it. Like, I don't want to like be braggy. Like this isn't meant to like brag. Like, I've got this sick trip. It's just like, it's fun. I found a new hobby. Like, got deep into it, and I was able to book a dream vacation. It's a once in a lifetime trip. Hopefully I can do some more trips like this in the future. But I am so excited to go check. I'm going with my wife. Have some awesome food, sightsee, but also do some Pokemon stuff too. It's like a trip of a lifetime. I cannot wait. Grimer, that's an awesome accomplishment. Congrats. Appreciate that. Daddy Donkey Kong, that is a new name I've seen in the chat. And he says, wait, you spent $8,000 on a vacation but don't own a home? Like, thanks. Come on, dude. Like, get out of here if you're going to come with that negative energy here. I'm not even going to just get into an argument about my personal finances with you, Daddy Donkey Kong. Sucks to see that type of comment. Dude, I'd love to do that. I actively avoid the travel cards because it doesn't really do anything for me when I'd rather have points for cashback stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I think for the vast majority of people, it just a cashback setup just makes sense, and it's probably the smart thing to do. And just to expand, I know I wasn't going to respond to Daddy Donkey Kong, but just to kind of go back into that, like, yes, I spent $8,000, but I guess I spent it in a way because I could have cashed out that $8,000 for cashback. So I did spend technically, like, it's hard to play those. It's hard to play those mental gymnastics. Like, you are right. Like, I earned that money like with strategic spend and organic spend, like to be able to earn those types of sign up bonuses on different business credit cards and otherwise. So like I kind of was very strategic and used my knowledge to be able to not make that money appear, but like I didn't dip into the savings. I kind of manufactured those points through organic spend. So that is a little bit of different thing than I took my paycheck and spent $8,000. I think, but at the same time, it is true. I could have cashed out those points for $8,000 and put that towards a retirement account, a savings, XYZ, and I chose not to do that. So in a way, I did spend $8,000. So, anyways, like each person has to make a choice, and I feel like it's important, and it's something that I want to do to be able to. I don't want to wait till I retire to travel. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait until I'm 65. I'm finally retired, and then I'm like, now I'm going to travel. It's like my knees are going to hurt, and I might. First of all, I might not make it to 65. There are plenty of people who pass away before that age. My own mother passed away before the age of 65. A lot of close family members that have passed away might not make it to that point. So even if I am lucky enough to make it to that time, I'd rather travel when I'm healthy. I've got I've got a healthy body. I'm able to do long walks and walk to the next museum and the next tourist location and the next restaurant and be able to move. So is it the best financial decision? Will everybody tell you it's the best financial decision to spend $8,000 every couple of years in order to travel? It's probably, most people would probably tell you no. But I have made the decision that if I'm able to obtain that $8,000 at a cost that is, less to, it's very low, and I'm able to obtain it by doing strategic spend through my business expenses, my personal expenses, and spend in such a way and strategically sign up for credit card bonuses that I manufactured those points through organic spend and didn't dip into a savings account. That's just kind of how I'm playing the mental gymnastics to get there. So, but I did spend that money to make this trip happen. So it is a fair point. Daddy DK is a D to everyone in all the chats. Oh, he's a new one. So whatever. He's entitled to his opinion. Thank you for pumping up the algorithm. I'd love to see it. Mason says you're holier than thou because you got your attention. Blah blah blah. So whatever. Anyways, so that's just the thought process there. Anyways, so we're going to move on to the next thing. These are just a couple things. I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I think I've been going for quite a while. Got 11 people in the chat. Appreciate that. I don't really have, I put this when I was making this slide presentation, Temporal Forces, Twilight Masquerade, Shroud of Fable. I planned on like going through each set list and like looking for the Komiya cards and reacting to the Komiya cards. I didn't do that, and I feel like I've spent a lot of time talking about other stuff that I wanted to talk about that I'm not going to do that. So I'm gonna have to take a deeper dive on those myself. So I'm gonna skip that slide, and that's kind of the end. I've got the Paradise Resort sealed pack here. I did want to talk about that a little bit. Haven't really, are people buying these? Are we stonking on these? I've been kind of keeping my eye on these. They've been trickling out on eBay. They got as low as 600. Somebody scooped up a $600 pack. I think the lowest list right now is like 650. So just was wondering like what the general thought is there. That's something that I've kind of had my eye on buying. I don't want to really pull the trigger on 650. I think that's probably as low as it's going to get. I feel like last year, right after Worlds in Japan, they were quickly selling for 500 and then they shot up from there. So I feel like 650 is a fair price, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to ask that, but I'm not going to go too deep into it. I have no idea what time it is. It is 10:08. I have to wake up super early in the morning at like 6:45 and then commute for an hour and a half. So I need to get off of the stream, but so we're going to start wrapping it up here. We're going to go back to full camera as we wrap it up. And I'm going to take that comment off here. So got 10 people in here. I think we got as high as 11 concurrent viewers. Really appreciate that. We're going to try to make some more regular videos, but at the beginning I mentioned I'm not going to commit to a regular. I just can't. I cannot commit at this time to every 2 weeks or anything like that. It's just not fair for me to try to keep that out there. So not going to do that. But we are. Yes, it was good to see you as well, Mason. Thanks for interacting in the chat and for being here. Can't wait for Chicago. Super excited for that. It is October, I think 12th and 13th. So I got a busy October. I'm going to Miami first weekend. Second weekend is Chicago Collecticon. Third weekend, Indianapolis to go see a Colts-Dolphin game with my friends. 3 weekends in a row. It's going to be a crazy stretch, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see everybody in Chicago. Thanks everybody for hopping in the stream here. Please hit that like button, subscribe button if you're watching later on or watching live now. I would really appreciate that. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. So again, thanks everybody, and have a great rest of your night. Bye.